welcome back to the club. The Black Creators Club is your go-to resource for the Black movers and shakers in Hollywood, reactions to the latest pop culture tea, and our own entertainment pursuits. I'm your host, Akila Friends, and I'm joined by my fellow media maven, Ebony Chapman. Ebony, how are you?
Girl, I can't tell you because I'm afraid HBO MAX might try to take it and sell it, honey.
Woo! Ciao. And if you don't know, you will know when we talk about Dave Chappelle a little later. But before we do that, within our 2 cents section, we're going to be talking about the Grammys. We're going to be talking about how The Weeknd feels like he's got snubbed, and low-key we do too. And then we'll move into Dave Chappelle and his latest stand-up that he did on Instagram, where he chatted about all things behind the curtain of the Dave Chappelle show. And then we'll move into our section of BBC Spotlight, or, where we highlight Black excellence. And then finally rounding it out with our Gotta Be Entertained section, talking about the latest and greatest happening in Black entertainment for you all to watch. So before we all start, let's go ahead and get straight to it and talk the Grammys, child. The Grammys, the 63rd Grammys.
Ooh, I can't believe it. It always comes around so fast every year.
So fast every year. So just so you all know, the 63rd Grammys is set to air on Sunday, January 31st on CBS, 2021, obviously. So in a little less than 2 months. We now know that Trevor Noah is confirmed to host it. So come on, South African
I feel like that's
King.
Gonna be so good. Like, just Trevor Noah's like funny. He has like comedic, he kind of has a little dry humor, which isn't always my favorite, but for him, I love him. Like I love him.
I'm obsessed with Trevor Noah. I'm obsessed. And there's not a lot of late night folks that I watch, but he has a tendency to be so funny, but also, like you said, very dry. And he's just so cute to watch also. Like, let me keep it a bug. That was really the real reason I was like, this is a little different. This is a little different than the, Colbert's of the world, the O'Brien's of the world. I love how
But I do love Colbert.
His own little take in his, yes, I mean, they're hilarious. I mean, Jimmy Fallon is probably top 5 for me. Yeah. But no, I think Trevor Noah is going to be great in his position as host. I'm excited to see it. I don't know if he hosted anything else before, honestly. Or if this would be more of his award show hosting debut.
Yeah, I think this is his first thing. I know he has a stand-up on Netflix and he, has his daily show, but I don't think he's done any award shows. So this will be his first situation and I'm excited for him.
Nice. Good for him. Yeah, this is taking it to the next level. This is really the coveted thing that folks who do late night shows or daily shows, etc., want to do. They want to host these kind of awards. So, right, Trevor, we're rooting for you.
We really
and before we start,
and I hope before we actually start with that, just to go back to Trevor real quick, I'm like, I wonder what his opening performance is going to be, because when they do the Grammys, the host always comes out with Monique did the Beyonce thing before, and everyone always has to come out with a banger. So I'm like, is he gonna do Drake? Is he gonna do what is he gonna do? I'm excited.
He can do Drake. That'll be fun. Oh, it'd be great. Honestly, I don't know if it'll be a funny thing to do or not. We'll see how spicy he'll get it. But if he did a performance as if he was The Weeknd, I would live. I would live. And I feel like that's he would get away with that because he's technically a comic. Totally. He could be funny, play jokes on it all day, but. Yeah,
The Weeknd would have to be in on it though. So
he's got to be in on it.
But that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Mm-hmm. Even going into the topic that we're going to talk about later. But yes. That would be funny.
Before we go into what's really been happening lately with the Grammys, let's talk about the nominations. So obviously all the nominations came out last week. And we focus, as we mentioned, on Black entertainment. So oftentimes that runs into R&B, hip hop, etc. So I went ahead, we got all the nominations for some of the categories, and let's go ahead and play a game. Who do we think is going to win the Grammys in January? Let's start off with Record of the Year. I'm going to read out the choices that they have, and then we'll each say who we think our top pick is, okay?
Okay.
So the first, for Record of the Year, we have Beyonce's Black Parade. We have Black Pumas in Colors. DaBaby featuring Roddy Ricch in Rockstar. Doja Cat, Say So. Billie Eilish, Everything I Wanted. Dua Lipa, Don't Start Now. Post Malone, Circles. Megan Thee Stallion featuring Beyonce, Savage. So who do we think out of that group will win Record of the Year? And there are a lot of nominations now I think about it. As I was reading this out, I'm like, oh, this is probably 8 or so choices.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a mouthful.
But I feel like they always add on every year. Like there's always like, okay, first it was like 5 people in the category, then it's like 7, 8, 10. You know, like it gets crazier every year. You know what? I would love to be like, I'm gonna pick everybody black because that's what I want to see.
Yes.
But you know, if I'm being realistic, how this normally goes, I'm gonna realistically go with Billie Eilish. I feel like her fan base is huge, and I feel like even though I like her songs, but I'm not like listening to them on my you know playlist. But I do think that she's very popular, so I'm gonna go with Billie.
Okay.
And we're gonna knock
this. I was gonna say we're gonna report back and see how much we really like knew the Grammy. I mean, it's all predictions and fun and games, but I think we got some skin in the game.
All right, who's yours?
For me, I'm so torn. I'm gonna say the 2 people then who I think more so would get it. So I think the finalists would probably be Dua Lipa, Don't Start Now, for the same reason that you're saying in terms of like, yes, you want to root for everybody black, but Dua Lipa, no, that girl knows how to make some hits, child. She knows how to make some hits. And I think Don't Start Now was so popular and so like festive too, you know. And then the person who I think is gonna top her though, even though I feel like if she won, I'd be fine with it. I really do think it's gonna be Meg Thee Stallion feature Beyonce with Savage. I do, and the reason why, yes, I mean, yes, it was a catchy song at the beginning, but you can see, especially I remember the beginning of quarantine, even the commercials that brands use and how they incorporated the fact that, oh, we're all alone together, etc. A lot of them included that Savage dance that folks did on TikTok. And I think that was a major indicator that, yes, I mean, yes, who doesn't like to dance to hip hop and R&B type music? But it's Beyonce who's carrying the remix of that song. Totally. You have Beyonce nominated by herself also. So probably more of a like an odd or like, you know, a way to say, all right, you know, we recognize you, Beyonce. We recognize Meg Thee Stallion. She had a killer year. Let's give it to her. So
totally. Yeah, I mean, I would have said Doja Cat, but I feel like her whole skin, I think that kind of messed her up. So we'll move on.
Yeah. Not for record of the year, but yeah, I totally get that. All right, the next category we have is album of the year. So somewhat different, the full album. So again, you get ready for this mouthful. First, we have Jhené Aiko with Chilombo. I don't know how to pronounce her album, but that's we're gonna go with that. Chilombo. Black Pumas again. Chilombo. Chilombo.
You add an accent that makes it better, right? That makes everything better with that. I hate it.
Is it C silence? I have no idea. So Black Pumas again with Black Pumas, their self-titled album. Coldplay, Everyday Life, Jacob Collier, Jesse Volume 3, Haim, Women in Music, Dua Lipa, Future Nostalgia, Post Malone, Hollywood's Bleeding, and Taylor Swift, Folklore. So most of these folks, yes, we know, not black, but because Jhené Aiko is there, I was like, you know what, let's go ahead. And it's album of the year, right? It's the best, highest rated award that you can get that night. So from the list, Ebony, who do you think's got it?
Okay, so normally Taylor Swift she sweeps the category, any category she's in. However, I didn't really hear a lot about folklore, whatever it is. So I'm kind of on the fence with Taylor Swift, but I'm gonna go with Post. I don't know why, but something about Post Malone, it gave me it that answer drew. So I'm gonna go with Post Malone.
Interesting. I mean, that's not a bad pick. I mean, that's definitely a lot of favorites. I actually was gonna say Taylor Swift, and because of that, I think she sweeps it. But also Folklore, I heard of. Maybe I was the one listening, ready to hear
the new Taylor Swift album. I'm not a Swiftie, so listen, I don't care.
I'm definitely low key a Swiftie.
Dang
I see homegirl working, and I'm like, you know what? She's a little snaky, but her music pops, and I'm glad she finally has ownership of her masters. So I think for that, Grammy should congratulate her. Go ahead, Folklore, you got it. Best New Artist. So we have Ingrid Andress, Phoebe Bridgers, Chica, Noah Cyrus, D Smoke, Doja Cat, Kate Renata, and Megan Thee Stallion. So again, for Best New Artist, who do we think got it?
Wow, that's hard. That is really hard. I don't know some of these people, so I'm gonna just do a feel vibes type of guess, and I'm gonna go with Doja Cat. I feel like she's been really killing the game, and I'm just gonna go with that. That's my vibe right now.
I hear ya. I hear ya. Yeah, a lot of these, I feel like it's gonna go to one of these unknown cats, unknown to me, like Ingrid
Right.
or Phoebe. I think got it. But I don't know who they are, but from the folks who I wish could get it, I'm gonna say Chica, like homegirl. She was part of the freshman class. That what is it? I think it's Triple XL. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Triple XL puts out, and I think it's really. She's been hot for years. Like I think she's from Mississippi. Her rap style is incredible. And I think she should win it. I don't think she is because again, she doesn't have that, or not yet has that just all across famous, popular power right now. And I think it's just going to take some time for her. Probably she has to come out. I don't even know if she has an EP out yet, but I think, if it was my guess, if it was my choice, Chica for sure.
Okay, perfect. So I'm writing us all our answers down, so we could.
Yes. All right, go ahead. Keep us on track. So when we really watch the Grammys at night,
right,
we'll say if we were right or wrong. All right, and now we have I think 4 more to go. So the first one, best pop solo performance. So the choices are between Justin Bieber with Yummy, Doja Cat with Say So, Billie Eilish with Everything I Wanted, Dua Lipa, Don't Start Now, Harry Styles, Watermelon Sugar, and Taylor Swift with Cardigan. These are some pop songs.
So the solo performance. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I really want to be between Justin and Dua Lipa. Harry Styles does have this is a good one. This is a good category.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Dang. I'm gonna go with Dua Lipa. I'm gonna go with her because I don't know why her name's popping for me. I'm gonna go with that.
It's a good choice. That's a good choice. For me, I really want to go with my heart and say Doja Cat would Say So. That is a forever bop in my mind.
Bop.
Say So.
It is a bop.
She killed it. But who I think is gonna win, I feel it's gonna be between Justin and Harry Styles. So, and I'm gonna go with Harry Styles for this one with Watermelon Sugar. Let's do that.
Watermelon Sugar.
Hey. Best R&B song. So let's go through the categories. Robert Glasper featuring her and Michelle. Better Than I Imagine. Beyonce with Black Parade. Tiana Major and Earth Gang with Collide. Chloe and Haley with Do It. And Skip Marley and Her with Slow Down. Again, the best R&B song.
Yes, listen, honestly, I really hope that her gets one because her has been putting in her time, putting in her work. And she's nominated twice in the same category. So she even has a higher chance of winning. So that would suck if she didn't. I don't know the first song though, Better Than I Ever Imagined. Yeah. I don't know that song, but I
hear it. But probably we've heard it before, but
but best R&B song. I mean, let's see. I feel like I'm gonna root for her. I'm gonna go with Better Than I Imagine, just because it's more R&B. I feel like the Slow Down with Skip Marley, it has that more like reggaeton,
that reggae
vibe.
Type.
So I don't know how like R&B-ish that is, but I'm gonna go with the first option.
Listen, all I know is when Black Parade came out, right after, I think it was George Floyd, I feel like that's when it came out. When we were protesting, everyone's just tired. Everyone's just like, what the hell is going on with folks in America and the Black community?
Totally.
Beyonce did that with Black Parade. She did that. So I think she's gonna, I would have said Chloe and Haley would do it because that was another one. I'll be my face. Hey,
that one was good. I don't know if
that was it, but I don't think she did right. I don't think they did the best. And so I'm going to go with Beyonce with this one. Black Parade. Come and collect your Grammy, girl. I think that's for you.
All right, Queen.
And then the last two, we're going to hit it over to rap now. So best rap song. Lil Baby with The Bigger Picture. Roddy Ricch with The Box. Drake featuring Lil Durk with Laugh Now, Cry Later. DaBaby featuring Roddy Ricch with Rockstar. And Megan Thee Stallion featuring Beyonce with Savage.
They really trying to get Savage a Grammy.
That's what I'm saying. They trying to make sure homegirl snatches some sort of Grammy this year because
my goodness.
They are shoving it down our throats. Okay, best rap song. Who do you think has it?
You know what's funny? I love on the Grammys when they play the song with the things.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. I need that right now. Okay. Little baby, make other girls go crazy. You know. Okay.
All right.
I know. All these songs are really.
I know
fire.
who you going with. They're really great. Really great songs.
Good. I mean, The Box, I feel like has been out for a minute. It's been out for a minute. Laugh Night Cry Later. How does that go?
Listen.
Okay, I feel like I know the song. I just can't. So I'm gonna go.
That out. What is
I'm gonna go with Megan and Beyonce. I am, because I feel like, how could you not give them a Grammy?
With Savage, huh? All right. Oh, sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but as you know now, baby.
You know, Drake's always it's a good winner for a Grammy.
It's a good one to right. I think The Box needs to win this. The Box needs to win this. I'm just remembering the days before quarantine when this would play in a day party, when this would play in the club. Everybody was ready, especially when that melody would kind of drop. You'd be like, but I'm gonna get lazy.
Are we ready to go out? We ready to go out.
I'm ready to be outside. Okay.
We've been ready to go be outside.
I'm in the box. I want to get outside the box. Go outside. But I think Roddy Ricch definitely has it with this one. I hope he does at least. The last but not least, best rap album. D Smoke with Black Habits, Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist with Alfredo, Jay Electronica, A Written Testimony, Nas, King's Disease, or Royce the 5'9", The Allegory. Your face right now. If anybody can see her face right now. For those listening, like,
who is right? Listen. Okay, you know what? I will keep my eye.
These are all independent artists, so this is a big deal. They're usually the best rap album. Nah, you are associated with some sort of label, doing some sort of thing. So the fact that these are all independent artists who just nabbed this, it's huge.
That is huge. That is honestly a huge category. I'm excited for anyone who wins this category. I kind of want to be between like Nas and like D Smoke. That's kind of where I want to land my vote. I don't know. You go first.
Yeah.
You go first.
Jay Electronica had a lot of features on his album, which might make him go up. Freddie Gibbs, great. D Smoke, love a lyricist to the core, so I think has a great chance. But I feel like just for legendary sake. And the fact that I honestly love I love the album.
Is that the Spicy?
Came out?
Is that the
That's
Spicy?
When Spicy was on. I was playing it the entire time. Eminem would come over. I'm like, listen, this is where we're about right now. I think Nas got it. And
let's go.
That's
what
has to happen. Let's go with Nas. Before we just round this out, just wanted to shout out a few other notable nominations. So, for instance, we have Kanye West nominated for Best Contemporary Christian Music Album with Jesus is King. So
did we ever think we'd see the day on that one? Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay.
He might grab it too.
I mean, the album was fire.
Yeah, the album was great. Burna Boy, just want to shout out Burna Boy because I love him. Nominated for Best Global Music Album for Twice as Tall. So good for Burna Boy. I feel like he makes a lot of hits for the culture right now. As does Buju Banton. He's nominated for the Best Reggae Album for Upside Down 2020. I love me some Buju. I grew up on him, and I'm just like, yes, he better get it. He better get it. And lastly, we have Beyonce nominated again for Best Music Film for Black is King.
Now that time
we were talking about Black is King.
That better win. That was really amazing. That better win. Okay, that for sure. I have Beyonce on, betting on her all day. Absolutely. If she doesn't win that,
we don't even need to put any of the categories in there. This was her show. Like, this is it. I mean, if not for anything else, this one really would be a travesty. Speaking of travesties, or what we think might be a travesty, not we, but really The Weeknd. He was left off of the Grammy nominations list. As you saw, we read through a lot of the categories that The Weeknd would have been in, especially this year with his hit album, but he was left off of it. A lot of articles came out about this. The Weeknd himself tweeted about this. Now we're going to talk about it. So, despite, again, I'll just read real quick what he tweeted. So, he said after the nominations came out, the Grammys remain corrupt. You owe me, my fans, in the industry transparency. I'm gonna put the little dot, because he put 3 dots like he was waiting for somebody to come and say something. But then he went ahead and followed up with saying, collaboratively planning a performance for weeks to not being invited, ? In my opinion, 0 nominations equals you're not invited. So just for clarity, he was planning with the Grammys to do a performance. Like they were talks with him to perform at the Grammys. And yet he wasn't on any of the nominations. So the fact that you wanted him to perform some of his hit songs for the year, including Blinding Lights, that everybody know about, Heartless, that folks should know about too, and he wasn't on it. So what do you think about this, Ebony? Like, what do you think about the fact that The Weeknd was not nominated for a single thing on all those categories that I just read out?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I would have to say, like, I don't necessarily, even me not being like the biggest fan of The Weeknd, I think that he's been putting in the time, the work, and the effort. His visuals, he's been selling. I mean, he had so much commitment. Every red carpet he's been on, he's dressed up like the album cover. Okay, let's not think every single like thing. So he has been promoting his album everywhere. There was I don't know if it was like the BET Awards or the VH1 Award, whatever. It was another award show. He literally accepted his award in the bloody face and the whole thing. Like he has been committed to his album, on top of the fact that there's so many hits that we hear all the time on the radio, all the time in the commercials, all of this stuff, and to not be nominated for not 1 Grammy, and then on top of to add insult to injury, you're gonna ask him to perform at the Grammys. Like, have you guys lost your mind? Like, what is that about? Like, I'm not here for any of that, and I think he should have been on the list 100%.
100%. I'm gonna just read out some of his stats also for this year, because if you didn't know, for me, I didn't really know about the entire album After Hours, so I can't fully stand to say his entire album should have been, let's say, on the nomination list for Album of the Year. But I do know Blinding Lights was like literally the song, one of the major songs of this year, as was Heartless. And just so you guys know, and this is based on some of the stats from even the Weeknd's news folks putting out different things, Blinding Lights has re-entered the top 5 on US iTunes a full year after its release. So it's back on the top 5. I don't know if it's based on the fact that he tweeted what the hell is going on, and people just went ahead and listened for themselves. Who knows? But also, Blinding Lights was being used as a sound in over 2 million TikTok videos, according to Pop Crate. So people love the song enough to make a dance to it or whatever they do to a lot of these beats. And also, Blinding Lights has now spent 1 year on both the US and global Spotify daily charts. Spotify streams, downloads, etc. Like, you've spent a whole year on the charts for that. I mean, that should be enough to showcase that, hey, like, some sort of recognition. I don't think you should have swept the board. So, probably as an artist, you're thinking, I need to get every single thing, or at least be nominated for every single thing. But the fact that I see, let's say, for instance, Savage on this list, we read it out multiple times. We read out Dua Lipa multiple times. Like, I feel like, and these are songs that, yes, were popular, but I don't know if it was as popular or as big as Blinding Lights, for instance. Heartless, I can't really say the same for.
I wonder what the Grammys criteria is when it comes to picking songs and doing things. I mean, this is exactly why artists, especially like The Weeknd, Omarion, even for instance, are like, I mean, maybe even Ice Cube, like
Drake said it for years too.
You know what I'm saying?
Nicki Minaj said it too.
Like, forget the Grammys, because Nicki Minaj has actually never won a Grammy, and she deserves one.
It's crazy. It's crazy to me.
And so, what the heck are they looking at, or like basing their charts on? Is it just like the top, like Billboard, like, numbers, like whatever for the week is at the top, 100 on the list is going to get nominated for a Grammy? Like, how does that work?
And the thing is, actually the Recording Academy chief, officer, Harvey Mason Jr., actually came in to talk about, I think, to Variety or Deadline, one of the major trades, to talk about what was going on and what his reaction to The Weeknd's comments and really how they vote. The fact is that there are apparently multiple committees. I can't tell you exactly, but there are multiple committees that, start with this grand list. Then another committee gets it from their list that they sifted down a little bit. Then another committee gets it. And that's kind of how it gets sifted through the process. He said, though, the chief said he too was surprised that The Weeknd didn't receive any nominations. and confirms reports that the artist was originally expected to perform at the Grammys. So who knows, but they mentioned later on.
What?
That's the thing.
Okay, what? Like, that's my thing. Why is there's no communication? So you're telling me from the Supreme Court justice all the way down to like the state court, like nobody's talking to each other and everyone's just eliminating who they want to eliminate. And then by the time it gets down to the list, they're like, all right, this is the final list. Like it went through all these things, but no one's really, to me, I feel like what needs to happen is more like a table read. Like we need to have an open discussion, and we need to have like a cutting room floor situation where we have like a storyboard, all the top nominees for this category, and we go through and we sift through and we look at numbers, streams, TikTok numbers, and all of those things, and then decide
I think
what it is that we want to do.
On those numbers, I do think if it's just on those numbers and streams, etc., we'll always just have the big artists getting the big awards. And I think there's some rhyme and reason to having something like this where it's like, giving artists who are not known for decades already had that huge head start to get their fan base, etc., up to have a place. But I think for the most part, yes, it should have some sort of communal aspect. And that's not to say that they don't, but I feel like perhaps for the number of folks who are involved in it, they maybe are not all speaking together at the same time. And I think that's where the problem lies. But also there's a hypothesis going out that maybe the reason is because they don't really know, like I think most folks don't really know, where exactly do we place The Weeknd? Do we place him in pop? Do we place him in R&B?
He could be in both, and that's the thing.
But perhaps there are folks who are interested, who are focused mostly on pop nominations, who may be like, oh, he's more R&B, I'll leave it to them to decide. And the people who are more on R&B are like, oh, maybe he's more pop, I'll leave it to them to decide.
But this is why you need the communication. And that's why I don't feel like the way, if that's the case, that they're going from committee to committee to committee, and like if you're the pop committee, you're deciding on pop. If you're the R&B committee, you're deciding on the. I personally don't like. Okay, that's fine, but then at the end of the day, before the list goes out, there should be, the representative to each committee on an open table read, and we're discussing the numbers. Did you look at this? Did you look at, like, there should be some type of final eyes besides just that committee's on this list, because this
especially when it's so exact, and it's a peer nominated award, and because of that is so subjective. There's no, who knows if they're even looking at numbers, because that would make it a more factual, objective situation. But if you're not really looking at that, you're more so like, influence, or who caused a spark to change. Like, that is so subjective. Who knows? And at the end of the day, we're speculating here. We don't exactly know.
We don't know
what the Grammy and what their chair folks are doing and how they do it.
But clearly he doesn't know either. He doesn't know either. So he doesn't know what's going on in his own org. Okay. Like, what?
He said there are fewer nominations than the number of deserving artists every year. And this is just kind of how it played out. But, for the weekend, I don't know if it's the last laugh, but just the show goes on. He's set to be the Super Bowl headliner. Remember that, which is going to be premiering just a week or so after the Grammys. So he's going to get a little redemption, a little bag. Hopefully he's not going to be too pressed about it. He's already a Grammy Award winning artist. So it's not like this would be his first. But obviously when you put out something that you think deserves something, you want to have that.
And it does, you know what I'm saying? And it does. It's like when you have something that you want to be paid for, it 100% should be given. You know what I'm saying? Like, it deserves. It's not like, oh, I think that I'm better than everyone else. It's like, no, there's actual numbers, and it shows that it's been doing very well, and it deserves its recognition and its time, its roses, it's all of it.
There it is. And moving on though, because this is kind of, it's crazy, it's not funny, wow, we gonna have to do a whole, the industry needs a detox, okay? Things are happening. Go on a 21-day cleanse, figure it out, industry, because it's not only happening on the music side, it's also happening in television and film. If you've been around some sort of tablet, computer, phone, whatever, what's been going on with Dave Chappelle. And today we're going to break it down all for you, because Dave Chappelle recently posted an 18-minute stand-up on his Instagram that he titled Unforgiven. And we're going to discuss all about it. But just to give you a quick recap, Unforgiven mainly is about, Dave Chappelle, when he left his show in 2005, the Dave Chappelle show that originally was a Viacom CBS show. He left in 2005 before his contract is up. He revealed that he was not paid for his work. and he was not paid for any deals to bring the show to streaming services. That we all know that it's been brought to Netflix, it's on HBO Max, etc. And so he's talking about it. He talked about it. He put it all on the table. And before we go into the nitty gritty, I just want to get overall thoughts. Ebony, what did you think about Unforgiven overall?
I thought it was powerful. I thought that's like a really good word. Also brave. Dave Chappelle really is kind of like pleading, but in a way kind of giving us some more of an insight into what it exactly has been going on. So in your mind, you think like, oh, these are celebrities. They have money.
Yeah.
They get paid for this. They do. And like maybe they got paid for it, but it wasn't what you think they're getting paid for it. Like if you see a show or a movie made $2.5 billion, like don't think that the actors made anywhere close to that. Okay. Like, you know?
Yeah.
It's all the
or even there made at that time, or the bigger thing that we're all now getting hip to is the idea of residual income, the idea of what happens down the line. And I feel like that was a great word for it. He was very brave, because honestly, a lot of folks, especially in this game, don't like to come out and say, hey, I got a bad deal. Because what is that really? People, have a tendency to blame them, or have a tendency to say, oh, you should be grateful you got anything at all. Or where was your team? Right. Or what happened? Or all these questions that I feel like in a lot of ways, Dave Chappelle went and broke down the answers to it. And ultimately his plea was, just so you all know, again, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and watch it. But his main plea was, if you ever liked me, if you ever think there was anything worthwhile about me, I'm begging you, please don't watch that show. I'm asking you to boycott any network, boycott me, boycott Chappelle's show. Do not watch it unless they pay me. And who is the they here? He's talking about HBO Max. He's talking about CBS. Because when he asked Netflix, because with Netflix, they had the show on there. I remember that's when I was watching it like a few weeks ago.
Shame on you.
And he asked
Shame on you.
Yeah, I know. When I didn't know the deal, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to watch the show now. Okay. But Netflix took it down. He just asked them, listen, this is how I feel about it. I didn't get a raw deal. And they took it down. And that was it. That really showcases the integrity of that network, but also the fact that, hey, I want to continue working with Chappelle, so I'm not going to make this into a thing where,
oh my gosh, totally.
I condone this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Did we explain the situation? I don't even know if we did. But like,
go ahead and give a quick explanation.
Yeah. So basically, if you don't know, this is the first time you're hearing about this, Dave Chappelle did the Dave Chappelle show back on Comedy Central, and when he signed the deal, he said he was 28 and an expecting father, and kind of was like, well, it's not the best deal in the world, but what else am I supposed to do? Like, I need the money. And so he signed over his likeness. So, they paid him whatever they were going to pay him for that time for the contract. And then he quit the show because he didn't want to do it anymore. So now that it is streaming again, Netflix put it up and HBO Max also put it up, even though he was like, I pitched this show to them years ago and they were like, why do we need you? Like that was basically their response. And now here they are, trying to get a coin off this man. So he said, listen, like, do not boycott any of the networks, boycott me, like what Akila read the quote, and, don't watch the show so that basically they don't get any streams or make any money off of this. And they'll have to eventually take it down because it's not, producing numbers. And because he wants to get paid for it, which I think is 100% the correct. But I love the way he came to the people. I love the way he came to us.
Yes.
Like, this is what's happening. This is how I feel about it. And I want you guys to support me, back me up. We can change. Like, we are the change makers, and we can make that choice with these networks. Like, we don't have to be subjective.
We don't have to watch it. We don't have to do it, especially if we know behind the scenes. And I think it's again, it's the bravery of it, it's the powerfulness, and it's the fact that it's a direct ask. Because he recognizes also, if he wanted to do something himself, he can't even, based on the deal, he cannot even use his likeness, name and likeness, i.e. his name. The name was called The Dave Chappelle Show. So if he created another show, another sketch show, similar to this, he cannot even call it The Dave Chappelle Show or the likeness of it, because that technically belongs to them now. His name belongs to them. Isn't it crazy?
Like that is such a good thing to point out, because when you're making a deal, it's like music industry, TV, film, like you have to be so careful what it is that you're signing over. I mean, in the music industry, we've seen the battle and the struggle with like owning masters, right? So like Jay-Z was able to like make a deal where he was able to force someone's hand to like hand him over his masters, right? And then ever since then, it's been like Nas and Taylor Swift and like other, you know, Beyonce like owning her content, Jay-Z coming out with Tidal, right? So that he owns like his own content, right? So we've seen this type of situation already happen. And so now we're also seeing this. This also happens in the TV film industry.
Always happens there.
Yeah, and it's very important to just be mindful of what it is that you're signing. And I get it, like, you know, if we were offered a deal, we would be so excited. We'd be like, oh my God, yay. But to really take our time and to kind of read through the contract and negotiate something.
But it's not even, at least for him, from what I just, again, through his special, what he said. So who knows what the actual thing was, but what he said, it sounds like he at least went through the precautions of having a lawyer, had an agent, have all the things, but you have to be extra carefully with them, because what he kind of was insinuating was like, you don't know if the people that you hire, you know, they're all playing the same game. So them telling you in your ear, you think they're purely for you. And they're telling you, hey, this is, you know, it's a good deal, because
but everyone's looking out for themselves.
And everyone is looking out for themselves. So like, even with that, again, it goes back to looking at it carefully and saying, is this something, and believing in your idea enough to say, no, this is going to pop not only for 2 years, but really for the next 20. And I want to make sure that for the next 20 and beyond, that I'm still taken care of. And this is not just a thing where I'm nervous that they'll say no and move on. If this is a really good idea, they'll work with you, hopefully. And if they don't, then that's all the more power to create your own thing and probably work on it on a slower base. What I also wanted to notice too, or also wanted to mention, is the fact that, yes, you know, commend him for being powerful and saying this, but I can't help but think of Monique. I always think of Monique when Monique came out. Monique, the comedian, she came out after having what she thought was a raw deal with Netflix, noticing that, you know, Amy Schumer, I think, was being paid X number of dollars more so than her. Twice or 3 times more so than her for the similar stand-up type specials. And she wanted everyone to boycott Netflix. I think the difference is he's not asking anyone to boycott all of HBO, all of Netflix, all of CBS. Just don't watch my specific show. And I know she didn't have a special to say don't watch that, but you know, I wonder if it's all in the approach. And so I'm curious to see if people will at least adhere to this, or would give him the same energy of saying, no, this has nothing to do with me. That's your business. I want to laugh. I want to watch this show.
Yeah, I really hope that people come through. I mean, I'm not gonna watch it, and since Netflix took it down, it's fine. And you know, I do have HBO MAX now, but I'm still not gonna watch. But you know, to bring up Monique, I think that was a great example. And do you think that possibly also has something to do with the fact that she's a woman?
I don't deny it. I don't deny it at all. And what it has fact to do with is how much folks think they've impacted your life. Like Dave Chappelle, I know a lot of folks think this guy is funny across the age. I think he's literally top 5 favorite comedians of all time, for me at least. So I knew already. He said that, I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm not gonna watch it. But he's just a great storyteller. I love Monique as well. I love what she did with the Parkers, her stand-up, etc. But there's probably folks who really just don't vibe with her, and perhaps because she's a woman, never really gave, even though she's the queen of comedy, never really gave her the same chance that I also perhaps would, you know, Black comedians.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's such a different dynamic in that, right? It's like she's a woman, she's Black, she spoke up years ago. I think she was probably that sacrificial lamb that happened, and like now all of a sudden people are like, oh wow, like she was right, and the music and the masters and my signing over my likeness, and now the Dave Chappelle thing is happening and coming out, right? So I think she kind of took one for the team. However, I also feel like because she calls people out, people label that as difficult, right? So she has that whole thing with like Oprah and Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels and that whole drama that happened. And I believe someone came out and apologized, or was like, I can't remember all the players to the pieces right now, but all the pieces to the game. But
yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But there was something going on, and basically I think Charlemagne was basically like, if this is true, like, you know, maybe Tyler Perry will come out and apologize, or maybe Oprah will come out and apologize to Monique, because it came out that, like, you know, she was right. And I feel like she's getting a little bit of vengeance, a little bit, to save her name. But I think I think this whole blackballing thing in Hollywood is really played out.
It's real. It's real. It's
real and it's played out.
It's not, they just call it a different name. What used to be blackballing is now cancel culture. We're kind of in charge of that in some capacities, but blackballing is still very much.
No, I'm saying I don't think that it should, and I'm saying I don't think it should be a thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it should be a thing because at the end of the day, everyone has a truth. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, and then it's like, you get labeled hard to work with or whatever, all of a sudden, like no one wants to work with you. I mean, same with Janet Herbert on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know what I'm saying? Which is ridiculous. One person's experience is never going to be the same with another person.
And then doing that again, the whole commonality, Black women, you, like she said, it really is the kiss of death when you call us difficult to work with, when you do this kind of stuff. Obviously now folks have the capacity to build their own brands and share their own side of the story. But imagine back then when no social media, just have the newspapers, and this major star who starred the show that you're on is calling you difficult to work with. Fast forward now with Monique, folks who are major players in Black Hollywood, in Hollywood period, are calling you difficult. You're a major player yourself, but it's very different. It's very different.
Because she said she's an actress and a comedian. It's like you need those people to be working with you. And if you as a Black man or like people in Black Hollywood, Oprah, Lee Daniels, are saying you're difficult, what makes you think the white man's going to want to hire you?
Are going to say, exactly. And that kind of goes back to what Dave Chappelle was saying in terms of this is not something that is done. People don't talk about the fact that something didn't work out for me because you don't want to be labeled as someone who are going to spread the business, going to talk about the business, going to say that, going to call people out. Because sometimes folks and companies need to be called out. And yet this is why people get away with these sort of things because, now, no one man, as Kanye said, no one man should have all that power. No one company should have all that power. And yet, this is what we're dealing with. But tell them a little bit more about the Black Creators Club, Eminem. Let's jump to our live read.
Yes, girl. Let me tell you what we do here to amplify Black voices and Black creation. We are the Black Creators Club, and we want to thank you guys so much for supporting us and loving us. We are on episode 17. You guys keep us going, keep us motivated. You guys could please support us by following us on Instagram, following and downloading our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, watching us on YouTube and getting us those views, likes, and shares, my darling. Okay, comment. You can email us with any leads and stories that you might have. And, we just continue to try to give you all of the Black content and all the ins and outs of Black Hollywood and content and everything. It's all for you. So, thank you guys so much for continuing to watch us.
Yes, episode 17. Can we just, that means 17 weeks. Like, we do this once a week.
Girl,
so
we're committed.
17.
We're committed.
We're committed. Literally.
This is the longest relationship I've ever had. No, I'm kidding.
Sarah, Haki, let me count. Let me see what's
I'm kidding. But it's a good commitment. I'm about to get us like a promise ring, like BCC rings. I
actually love committed. That. Girl, you can't give me ideas like this and then think I'm not going to follow up with you.
I love us because we're so extra. We're so extra together. I love it. Right. Like, this is why this works. I would too. All right, let's make it happen. I'm going to find some Black Friday deals so we can get us some BCC rings. Okay, perfect.
Yes. What else have you been up to, Eminem? Let's do our Maven to Maven check-in.
What have I been up to? Honestly, I've had such an uneventful week. Thanksgiving was super chill. It was just me and my mom. My god sister came over. We watched The Amazing Race. My mom started braiding my hair, and we tried like a different technique this time. So we did knotless. So they're a lot lighter, flatter, and a lot less hair. So it's not like so heavy as it normally is, but I'm just not used to it yet, girl. I'm trying to like get, that's why I keep playing with my hair all episode. I'm like, oh, like, is it cute like this? There's not staying in place. Like, I'm like it just, it's just something to get used to. Like, I'm just trying to get used to the way they look, but we'll get there. And I'm sure once my hair starts growing out, we'll start splitting the squares up into like more braids.
Yes. Well, we love it over here, girl. I mean, things have been good. Same like you, home for the holidays. I'm officially back on the East Coast, y'all. So been here. It's so funny. Like this is a test in my commitment to this right now. I can't tell you how many times my niece has opened this door to come and be a part of this.
Are you done yet? Are you done yet?
I'm like, girl, if you don't go outside. But it's been fun. I like the audience. So for doing that, one thing I want to make sure that we talk about, because yesterday my brothers here, so we totally had to watch the pay-per-view fight between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones.
First of all, why was Mike Tyson fighting? My friend, I called my friend. She's like, "Isn't he like 40 years, like 50? Isn't he like 100? What is he doing fighting?"
Yes, that was the whole thing. Mike Tyson, I think, is 54, and Roy Jones is 51. So literally, but they were in there swinging. I'm not going to hold you. They were in there swinging.
So who won?
Mike Tyson won, but they called it a draw, and that was about. I was like, there is no way this is a draw. But it was more so just for nostalgia, and didn't want to make sure. No one had a clear knockout, and I think that was Roy Jones, like his whole opener. Thing. Oh, except. So about Nate Robinson,
girl.
Yes, him against, what is his name? Jake Paul.
Yes.
So Jake Paul,
the most controversial YouTuber.
And everyone was, well, at least me. Again, niece and nephews, younger ages, and they were ready for Jake Paul to win because they are like YouTube out. But I was like, I can't. For so many reasons, I do not want to watch this boy knock out Nate Robinson. Like, that's not cute. That's not good for the culture. Like, I'm not here for any of that. And yet, what I saw that, I was just like, we couldn't help but laugh the first time. Because he got knocked out, I think, about 3 times. This man, the first time he was knocked out, I was like, okay, he's going to get back up. He's going to finally get in the zone. But he was fighting like it was a street fight. I mean, just going at it, no defense, no technique. And not that Jake Paul is a great boxer either. He had one fight before this. But the fact that he at least is trained.
Girl, listen, girl, listen.
What we listening to?
Linda, listen. I, first of all, did not watch the fight, but I feel like we had enough clips online. I felt like I did. So yes, I watched it. Yo, first of all, I didn't even realize that this was happening. I also was like, who is this person, this white boy that he's fighting? Who is this man? And then when I realized it was Jake Paul, I know who he is because why was I watching some stupid stuff on the TV? It was like, probably it was YouTube. And he was like doing some fake marriage with this other YouTuber. Like, why was I watching this whole series? Don't ask me. But I totally know who this man is. And so, but when I saw him,
I did not know who that man was.
He looks like a whole different person. First of all, jacked up. I was like, you almost kind of fine. You almost kind of okay.
And he's at Disney Channel too. That's how he first got on, because he was an actor on Disney. Yes. He? When I tell you this man that's why I don't feel good about Nate, because I'm like, how did this Disney Channel for Bedazzled or some show that I don't even know about? Then he went to YouTube. He's trolling on YouTube. He wants to come out of music, wants to do a music video. So this man is doing all this extra stuff and still was able.
Listen. I was on, so after I started like doing my little research and I was on Instagram and I was stalking Jake Paul's Instagram because I was like, oh, I want to see this man's body because it's on fire. Like, what is happening? He posts so many videos of him in the gym training. And when I say his shoulders are buff, big, and just ready to knock you out, I was like, okay, like, I mean, he was training, like he's not a trained or professional boxer, but like high key, he looked fire. And then in the ring, he was towering over Nate. He was towering.
And that was, I was going to say, the biggest troll, one of the biggest trolls of that, 2 things. First of all, Jake Paul, you know how you can have your opening song when you came out to. I was like, when Jake Paul came out to "We're Playing Basketball," making fun of the fact that Nate is a basketball player, is not supposed to be in this ring at all. I was like, I caught that sub, but none of the commentators really.
No one said anything.
Really called on it. Yeah,
he's the biggest troll ever. Like, he really is like that. But he takes his shit seriously. He was in the mountains. He's in the mountains training in 11,000 degree altitude or whatever it is.
Okay, Rocky. No,
okay. I mean, he was really like training for a year. Really training for a year.
Not a whole year.
A whole year. They said 12 months, honey. That's what they said. That's what they said. That's what the people.
You know
said.
What they lied about on the People's TV last night when they said
what they do.
When they said that they were both 5'9". I was like, No, Jake Paul is taller than this man.
He has to be at least 6'1".
That's exactly his height. He's more so. Okay. How many videos were you watching, Evan?
Listen, I told you I know this man. I know who this man is. I told you. I'm weak, honestly. But yo, Nate falling to the ground, like, yo, Nate. Okay, I don't think he trained. But I don't think he trained well, because I was on his Instagram too, and I didn't see as many training videos as I saw on Jake. So I was like, I don't think you did that right, sir. Talking all this mess, and you got knocked the hell out.
It's different. Crazy. And my thing is, I think he got a little too comfortable, because if you don't know, he went from amazing football athlete to being an NBA draft pick to then winning the slam dunk contest. So this man is very much an athletic guy, and even for his size, I'm sure there was a lot of
basketball is so different. Like it's so basketball, you're slender.
One is a sport, and one is a lifestyle. Because if you could not, you could play. Yes, dunk all you want, do all your things, be proud of your accolades. You're an Olympic medalist. Do your thing, but.
Yeah, no.
Boxing now, you can't listen. You cannot pay me to get in that ring talking about, okay, now that I can dribble a ball, I'm about to knock you out. There's no way. There's no way.
Like, no way. That wasn't even. Way. And the thing is, I get it. In your mind, you're thinking crazy, corny white boy YouTuber, whatever. And in your mind, you're thinking, I'm from the streets. I'm
gonna do this.
Kill him.
Right.
But yo, like. If he was really tuned in to the in of the situation, he would have known Jake Paul was out here really getting. As soon as I started seeing Jake Paul get jacked, I'd have been like, all right, I need to eat more. We need to train harder.
Right.
You're over here doing interviews on your Instagram, bro. No, you need to be training in the ring. That's what you need to do.
Training.
You need to.
And now
he wasn't taking.
And now I'm just like, I feel bad for whoever his team is, his family, because I feel like the next few weeks are gonna be hell. The holiday's about to be hell.
Listen,
I'm sure he won't be able to get over
Twitter's already hot. It's already
eating him alive. Throw your phone away, Nate. You don't need it.
You don't need it. You don't need any of the negative energy. It's over.
At least the next few months. No. The minute you come back and say anything, that's the first thing people are going to come back.
He got nothing to say. I was laughing. They were like, oh, I'm about to, what did Nate tweeted something like, it's about to be legendary. I'm going to like shock the world tonight, bro. And everyone was like, I see no lies. I see no lies. Steph Curry in the comments talking about, I see no lies. I was like, oh, hell.
That's what I'm saying too. Now you got the whole NBA team. Oh.
And then we have Swaggy P saying he's no representation of the whole NBA. I was like, damn, y'all throwing him away like
that. Cut it out. Y'all were ready. Ready for some jokes. Who's on your team? Oh, well, this is when you see who really is in your corner, okay?
Listen, and
no. Even folks who are really in your corner going like cut your ass a little bit. Like
a little bit. Listen, and then tell me why my man, because I be reposting his stuff all the time. Tyler, who is also on P Valley, who is also on
the bouncer on P Valley.
Okay. The fine man. Yeah, him, like my boo, my husband, all that.
Okay.
Why is he challenging Jake Paul? He was like, yo, and he was calling him all types of names, the B word and the this and that. I was like, you know what? Listen, I've never seen you fight. But because you're my man, I got money on you, boo. But like, I'm gonna need you to really get it together.
I need y'all to stop. Right. I need y'all to stop comparing boxing in the ring to boxing on the street. I think if you fight on the street, that's a totally different game. I think you could do whatever, just land the punches all you need to do. Listen, in boxing, there's a whole other technique in there. So I hope somebody needs to get him.
Tyler, I'm nervous. Tyler said that Jake has no footwork, but I was like, okay, even with all the footwork, boo, you still gotta land them punches. Like, don't embarrass me, boo. Don't embarrass me, boo. Okay.
Yep. And
I'm gonna stop reposting all your mess.
Jake would definitely take it.
Girl, he would take anything.
He wants to smoke.
He wants all the smoke.
Listen. But that was the weekend. I know we got a little sidetracked, but that was the weekend. It was that good. It was that good. Let's get into the BCC spotlight, where we highlight Black excellence in the news, in media, etc.
Black on black, my thoughts so black on black, my skin is so black, I'm rocking that black on black is black.
Thanksgiving, they showcased a lot of Black excellence, child. The first thing we saw we done seen Michael Jordan donate. Speaking of athletes, Michael Jordan donated $2 million from The Last Dance, which is his docuseries on ESPN, to feed the hungry via Feeding America nonprofit. And I think the main areas that he targeted were Chicago and North Carolina. Clearly, North Carolina, where he's from, played at UNC, Chicago, which really, helped make a name for himself, solidified his stakes with the greats of basketball. And so, I mean, I'm glad. I was glad to see that. $2 million donated to the hungry via this nonprofit, getting it done for Thanksgiving. You can't forget that that's kind of one of the major things to be grateful for, that you're able to give back. And yes. And who else did that? None other than ASAP Rocky. A little, fine Flacco.
He's so fine. He's so fine. We love him.
Yes. He delivered meals also at a shelter though. So this was a shelter that was that he and his mom once lived in. It was called Regent Family Residence on the Upper West Side of New York. He served 83 families, including over 100 kids. So just very cute, just a low key, but also very impactful. Obviously, him picking the shelter where he once stayed with his mom there. And you know what? Probably one of the best things about that, besides him delivering, and that was great, just community service, what he delivered. The food was Amy Ruth. If you don't know, girl, when you come to New York, I am gonna that is my top
flight
5
to New York. I'm on a flight already to New York, for real. I'm so mad about COVID because I was supposed to be there in April. And honey, if it wasn't COVID right now, I would be there right now with you, meeting mama friend. Okay.
Come on. Just come through. Always got a plate. But Amy Ruth is the best. It's this Southern food place in Harlem. And honestly, I know we've heard of Sylvia's or Roosters, etc., but Amy Ruth's, that's that hidden gem. That is the best food there.
Right.
So
we there.
Heard
we
it from me.
On the list.
Heard it from me. Exactly. And last but not least, I'm gonna call this Black excellence because Tristan Thompson is officially a U.S. citizen. Okay, he gonna pay some taxes with all this trouble he's causing now. All right,
okay.
That's what's happening.
How did they? I don't know. I guess you could just be drafting anybody in the NBA. I guess it don't matter. I didn't think.
I mean, probably a work visa. You know how people have these work visas.
Yeah, I'm sure that ended a long time ago. How long has he been in the U.S.? It didn't be lasting that long. Dang.
Yes.
They're
ain't nobody for nearly 10 years.
That's what I'm saying.
10 years.
There's no way. There's no way.
Yep.
There's no way.
But he is officially a citizen. Congrats to Tristan. He probably kept his Canadian citizenship as well. So, he can go back and forth to the border.
And so will little too.
Yes.
Let's get into Gotta Be Entertained, girl.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it. The first things first.
Yes.
What you got to say?
What we getting into? First of all, Nicki Minaj has a 6-part docuseries following the life and career on HBO Max. So I am actually very excited to see this. I feel, we were talking earlier how she got snubbed. She always gets snubbed in the Grammys. So maybe this will give people a little light as to what it is that she does. I feel like we've seen stories. We know she's talked about her life, her younger life in Trinidad and all of these things. So we do know a little bit, but I'm excited to see this. I think that this is really going to give you a really good insight as to who she is as a person, husband. We want brother info. There's shows about it, but to hear it from her, we want to hear all of it. I hope there's questions asked that are hard-hitting and informational.
And it's not just nearly, because I remember she came out with a docuseries in the past, around Pink Friday time. Her Time Now is actually what it was called. I remember just standing over that. And a lot of people, even at that point, who was very confused, who Nicki Minaj is, what's going on? Should we like her? After that documentary, a lot of folks who were non-believers were like, you know what? I actually understand her more. I see the grind. I see the effort. And that was perhaps a decade ago, So now to come back to do this, I'm excited. And you know what else I think is going to happen? This is going to be the debut of her little baby boy. She's got to show that baby in this docuseries. I you know what I mean? I think she's totally going to show it. If not, give us Beyond the Foot. Give us Beyond the Hand. Right. Show us something else.
Top
show
of the head.
Back only if you need to. The top of the head.
Anything else?
You could wait to the 6-part docuseries, but we're excited for it. They didn't really release a date yet. It was just her talking on her Instagram that she's going to have a show coming on HBO Max. So I'm assuming next year, sometime early next year.
That. You know what? And I do have to say with Nicki, I think she's the testament to even when you make it in the industry or quote unquote make it in the industry, right? You're still grinding, you're still working hard, you're still trying to break the next barrier or break the next glass ceiling that's created in front of you. So
yes,
that's exciting, but at the same time, it's oh sheesh. Sushi. So before you get into entertainment now, you got to be ready to fight. Put the paws on them now, okay?
For that long-term grind. Drink your water. Eat your rice and cabbage. Okay.
Keep it tight, keep it right, and keep it focused. Okay.
Keep it focused.
The other thing is that the Soul Train Awards are going to be played on Sunday. So technically today. So when this comes out, if you want to rewatch, and I'm sure it'll be on BET playing those reruns as they always do. So you can always catch that. And I'm sure if you have like BET Plus or something, they'll probably have it on there as well. So you can definitely catch the Soul Train.
Yes. Catch on to it. And you know who's hosting? I think it's Tashina Arnold and I just know her as Gina. What's her name from Martin?
Oh my gosh, Campbell.
Tanisha Campbell.
Yeah,
I know it's Tashina Arnold and Campbell.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Pam and Gina.
Pam and Gina back reunited from Martin. Okay, Lord have mercy. Let's see.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be good though. And again, folks, if you're rooting for everybody Black, like this is a celebration of Black folks Soul Train Awards. So hopefully people give them some airtime. So
their names are confusing. So it's Tisha Campbell and
Tisha
Arnold. There we go. All right. Well,
ready for that. Yes. We talked about so much today. I'm glad y'all keep it spicy. I'm glad y'all always sharing your business online, giving us things to discuss, because we talk about the weekend, we talk about Dave Chappelle, the Grammys, Soul Train, Nicki Minaj is coming out with a new documentary that I'm sure we're going to dissect once it comes out. Like, so many things happening, and I'm glad you guys were listening, watching it all. Keep up with us, as we mentioned, every week, day after day on our socials at the Black Creators Club. And thank you so much for joining us. Ebony, where can they find you?
Yes, so you can find me and my Millennial Visionary series on my Instagram at Ebony Chapman 12, where I interview and feature Black-owned business and the visionaries behind the Black-owned businesses, you guys. So really, you get it all. Okay,
especially for this holiday season, this is what to watch.
I did so many Black-owned business Black Friday shopping, so you guys can catch all of that on my Instagram.
Yeah,
bring the New York out of me. I'm trying to channel all of the.
Come on through, girl. You just getting ready. And you can follow me at Aquila Friends on all socials, mainly on Instagram, where I'll be posting about my life and business, TV and film, pop culture, and the intersection of it all, the things I love. And speaking of pop culture, my YouTube page, again, at Aquila Friends, is where you can catch week over week me talking about pop culture, reality TV, and the business underlying it all. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, for partaking in all of our sweet, good content. Find us next week, same time, same place at the Black Creators Club. Bye, y'all.
Bye.